been a while since we did one of these universe mode update videos, ladies and gentlemen. What's up? It's your boy Nick back in another video, and today I'm gonna be going into what you can expect for my universe mode in WWE 2K22. I'm gonna be asking some questions, some poll-like questions. These questions are gonna be very important and are gonna impact the viewing experience for 2K22. My goal for universe mode in 2K22 is for the viewer to come back watching every week and saying that they love the show and that they want to see what happens next week. That's the goal of 2K22 Universe Mode. And today I'm going to be deep diving, going in, updating what you can expect for Universe Mode in 2K22 for my side of things, for my channel. And I'm going to be asking very important details and asking things about what you guys want to see in Universe Mode. And there's going to be a lot of choices to make, and you guys commenting on this video, saying what you prefer to see out of all these choices would really help. Man, I gotta tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I'm really excited for WWE 2K22 to come out. I don't know how good of a game it'll actually be. You know, I have my doubts about certain aspects of the game, but all I know is the community creation being cross-platform, more options for player lock universe mode, my GM being introduced, the graphics, gameplay, and lighting being way better than 2K20. I'm really excited. Even with the limited roster that we may end up getting, I know people will have amazing cause in the community creations community. It'll be amazing. And I want you guys to know, if you were curious, I did pre-order the game. I pre-ordered WWE 2K22, the NWO PS5 Digital Edition. For the PS5, I'll be playing it. So 2K22 comes out in pretty much a month. I mean, for people who get the standard edition, it'll be on the 11th, and for people who get the pre-order the digital edition and the NWO editions, we'll get it on the 8th. So pretty much a month left, and I'm ready, man, which is why this video is very important for the series. I'm even going to be going into a pay-per-view schedule for 2K22 Universe Mode, so yeah, let's get into it. The first choice that you guys have, okay, and question that I have, it's very important. It's probably the most important one out of all the questions I'm going to ask today, because it really depends. It's going to depend on what you personally like. Now, the question is about NXT. Do you want me to keep with the black and gold NXT, the version of black and gold, and just keep that color scheme? Or do you want me to introduce the color scheme of NXT 2.0? Do you want me to not include the 2.0 but include the color scheme of NXT 2.0? Or do you want like legit NXT 2.0? Or again, do you want the black and gold NXT? Doesn't really matter to me. The color scheme can make a difference, but in my opinion, it really doesn't matter. I like both versions of NXT, if I'm being honest. That's probably an unpopular opinion. A lot of people don't like NXT 2.0, which is fine, but I don't care either way. But for your personal viewing experience, what would you like to see visually for NXT 2.0 or black and gold? The choice is yours. The next question I have to better your viewing experience in 2K22 for my universe mode involves superstar renders, the screens of superstars, the screenshots of superstars. WWEGames have this feature, and it's pretty cool, where you go to the menu screen pose for create a wrestler, whatever wrestler you're trying to get, or alt attire, and you can pretty much take a screenshot, export it, and wipe the background clean so that you just have the superstar menu pose, so that you can put that superstar into some sort of match card selection screen if you're making your own match cards, if you're making a Raw, SmackDown, NXT, or even pay-per-view match card screen. So you could do this superstar versus this superstar. If you watch a bunch of the Universe Mode creators, you know what I'm talking about. But in case you're unaware of what a superstar menu screen posed superstar render is, let me show you right now on the screen. This is an example of the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, the current WWE Universal Champion in WWE, and as you can see, the background is black because this was a green screen, and what I did was I put it into a website called Remove BG, and it wiped the background, so now I can put this into any match card screen that I want, any custom match card, or a thumbnail that I want. So that leads me to my next question though. The question is, for 2K22, do you want me to keep going with the in-game menu screen posed superstar renders? Or do you want me to introduce real life renders and just stick with the real life renders instead for 2K22? The next question is about the length of the episodes. If you watched my universe mode the past couple weeks, you've noticed that I shortened the episode length. I went from my longest universe mode video besides Vengeance, which was 3 hours and some change, but like an actual episode of Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, SmackDown was an hour and 19 minutes, and that's pretty long for an episode of Universe Mode. That's not a pay-per-view. It's pretty long. But the question is, do you like the shorter episodes? Because the past couple weeks have been anywhere from 40 to 45 minutes. So, do you like the shorter episodes that are typically 40 to 45 minutes? Or do you like the longer videos, which typically will run 60 plus minutes? And keep in mind, even if you were to like the shorter episodes, there will be shows for every now and then where it goes past 45 minutes and it just is what it is. Like, for example, I'll get into this in a little bit. I'm looking to introduce super shows to my universe mode, which I'll get into that a little later in the video, but the choice is yours. Do you like universe mode episodes that are typically 30 to 45 minutes, or do you prefer 60 plus minutes? That would be nice to know. The next question I would have to ask would involve using talents from AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling in real life. Now, I don't watch New Japan that often. I've peeped what AEW has done. I love the MJF vs. CM Punk stuff, by the way. But I need to know because you see, lately, I've dipped my toe into the water, per se. I started using Kenny Omega in 2K19 Universe Mode, and I even brought in Darby Allin for a match. And when I do the Cruiserweight Open at the Great American Bash, you're going to see some more Cruiserweights from AEW join NXT, and that's just how it's going to be. But things like the Forbidden Door, do you want me to use a lot of AEW talents and New Japan Pro Wrestling talents? Because I know very little to nothing about New Japan. I know who Okada is, and I know who Switchblade Jay White is, which Jay White's now in AEW, if you saw last night as I'm recording this. So I'll definitely look to be using guys like Jay White in the future. But how many guys do you want me to see, or girls too, women too? As you know, the WWE female roster, it's big, but it is lacking a little bit of star power in real life. So, like, just imagine if, for example, Britt Baker went to WWE. I think that would be amazing. I don't think it's going to happen, but hey, in universe mode, never say never, you know what I mean? So, what do you feel about me using AEW New Japan guys when it warrants it? Not going overflow with it, but how many talents do you think I should sign? Let me know. The next question, this is a good one, folks. Super shows. Now, this one isn't really a question. This one is just an informative piece of information I think you guys would like to know. I am introducing super shows. Now, they're not going to happen all that often, but they will start happening, where this is where the episodes of Universe that are 60 plus to even an hour and a half to maybe even 2 hours, depending on the type of super show it is. Like, for example, if you don't know what I'm talking about, AEW, NXT, and WWE, they all run these super shows from time to time. For instance, AEW has run, like, Beach Break, for instance, or they've run a winter show. I forget what it was called. Let me know in the comments if you know what I'm talking about. They had, like, a special winter edition of AEW a couple times, where it was just a really packed show in the winter time. It was cool. You know what I mean. They had the match card graphics and the show, and, like, the arena. It looked like it was snowing, like it was winter time. It was really cool. Some examples on the WWE side of things of super shows they've ran in the past. I know for Raw, they do Raw Legends Night like once a year or sometimes twice a year. I know SmackDown, if you remember the SmackDown 2016 era, which, for a second, man, SmackDown 2016 was must-watch WWE. If you stopped watching wrestling in 2016 or didn't watch, go watch SmackDown in 2016 from around SummerSlam to WrestleMania 33. It's must-watch, wrestling TV for WWE for SmackDown. You gotta check it out. But in late 2016, SmackDown had this very special edition of SmackDown called the Wild Card Finals. Basically, they packed the hell out of this card, and they had a bunch of title matches. As you're seeing on the screen, they had a tremendous Four Corners elimination tag match. It was phenomenal. no pun intended, but this show also featured an awesome triple threat match between AJ Styles, Baron Corbin, and Dolph Ziggler for the WWE Championship. It was lit, and you can look for shows every once in a while that look like this in 2K22 for my universe mode. NXT is probably most known for running super shows, as they have shows like NXT New Year's Evil, The Great American Bash. They have Vengeance Day. It's a good time on NXT, and you could expect events like those as well. So yeah, folks, those are the questions I need answers to for my universe in WWE 2K22. It's very important that people answer these questions because it's going to shape how the viewer experience is. I want the viewer to be happy with what they watch. I want my content to be the best it can be. But let's move on to the WWE 2K22 pay-per-view schedule. Let's get into it. Alright, now I know there's a lot going on, it looks like, but I promise it's not that difficult to understand. I try to make it as neat as possible. Promise I'm going to break it down so that you understand I fit every single pay-per-view that we're going to have in 2K22 Universe Mode in, taking into consideration that I don't go by months or even weeks in Universe Mode, because one episode of Universe Mode takes me on average a week to make, with the editing, recording, blah blah blah, you get it. But with that being said, right now we're at Vengeance, or we're close to Vengeance. We're one more week away. After this episode of NXT, it'll be Raw, SmackDown, then Vengeance, folks. We were this close, and that's a Raw and SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view. You got 3 shows in this series, Raw, SmackDown, NXT. You may be wondering, why is NXT the 2.0 color scheme? Remember, I asked you earlier in the video, make sure you tell me. It's subject to change. Do you want NXT 2.0 in my universe or NXT Black and Gold? Answer that. But after Vengeance, the next NXT event, it'll be a NXT exclusive, The Great American Bash. That'll be for NXT only. Then after that, Raw and SmackDown will have Judgment Day, and this will feature the King of the Ring. The finals of the King of the Ring will be the main event of Judgment Day. Then after that, another NXT exclusive, NXT TakeOver Los Angeles, California. Then after that, it'll be SummerSlam, which is Raw and SmackDown exclusive. Then after that, No Mercy, which is Raw and SmackDown exclusive. Then after that, NXT TakeOver London, which is NXT exclusive. Then after that, Unforgiven, Raw and SmackDown exclusive. And then you may be asking yourself, Nick, where is TakeOver WarGames? I have officially decided and made it official that we are not going to be doing TakeOver WarGames in my universe mode. Now, hold on before you get mad. There's reasons for this. Number 1, officially right here, it is going to be at Survivor Series. Survivor Series is going to be a triple branded pay-per-view. NXT matches will feature. NXT, Raw, and SmackDown will all be at Survivor Series. And I'm here to announce right now a little gift for you guys. A little heads up. I'm not going to have a WarGames pay-per-view, but if WarGames is somehow in 2K22, which I'm not to disappoint you guys, but I'm highly doubting that it makes the game, just because that's such a big thing that I don't know if they focused on. But I promise you guys, Survivor Series, if WarGames is in the game, will be at Survivor Series, and it'll feature NXT superstars. That's where WarGames comes into play. It'll be at Survivor Series. If WarGames isn't in the game, we're still going to have a version of WarGames. If you play WWE 12 Road to WrestleMania, and you played the Jacob Cass Road to WrestleMania, you know the last match was at Starrcade, and they had that Hell in a Cell elimination style championship scramble fiasco, where the guys kept coming from the ring. I'll do something along those lines if WarGames isn't in the game. But NXT and WarGames will be at Survivor Series in my universe mode, so that's why it's not a pay-per-view event as a whole in my universe. Some might not be happy about that, but you have to understand where I'm coming from. The games can be very limited sometimes, and also, not to disrespect NXT TakeOver in any way, because there have been some great NXT TakeOver WarGames over the years, but I don't think a match like WarGames deserves to be it's just like Hell in a Cell or Elimination Chamber, which I know that seems a bit hypocritical, as Elimination Chamber is a pay-per-view, but I'll explain when I get to Elimination Chamber. But in general, I don't think WarGames needs its own pay-per-view. I think it can headline a major event like Survivor Series and just be a match, just be a gimmick match that happens, I don't know. That's my theory. That's my opinion. So I don't think WarGames needs its own pay-per-view, but let's move on. After that, we have Armageddon for Raw and SmackDown. After that, we have NXT exclusive NXT New Year's Evil. Then after that, another triple branded because NXT superstars will be in the Royal Rumble. Raw, NXT, and SmackDown at the Royal Rumble. Then we got Elimination Chamber. If I can somehow glitch, like in 2K20, there's this glitch. Like I saw Delzinski make a video, shout out to Delzinski earlier when 2K20 came out. How if you play UniverseMode and you glitch a custom Elimination Chamber, you can glitch the Elimination Chamber match to a pay-per-view that's not Elimination Chamber or an episode of NXT. So if you wanted to have an episode of NXT where you have the Elimination Chamber main event and you don't no longer have to do an Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, but 2K19 didn't have that glitch, so part of me feels it's not going to be a glitch in 2K22. I could be wrong, and if I am wrong, we're going to replace that with No Way Out, because I'm not a fan of gimmick pay-per-views. As you can see, most of these aren't gimmick pay-per-views to begin with, but Elimination Chamber is the only exception I can give. So it's so I can do the Elimination Chamber match and not go through a headache of trying to glitch the No Way Out arena. But if you can glitch a custom arena to have the Elimination Chamber, it'll be No Way Out. But for right now, it's Elimination Chamber for Raw and SmackDown. And take that with a grain of salt if there's a glitch to glitch the No Way Out arena to have the chamber. Also after that, we have NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver, NXT exclusive. It's basically NXT's version of WrestleMania in my universe mode. And then after that, you have Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. There will be NXT Superstars in the Money in the Bank ladder match. There will be NXT Superstars versus WWE Superstars, wink wink. There will be a couple dream matches. And also, the logo is a logo I found online, WrestleMania Boston. The reason I picked WrestleMania Boston is because Boston, one, I could be wrong, but I've never really seen any UniverseMode creators make a WrestleMania Boston. And two, I'm from Boston. Well, not directly from Boston, I'm from Massachusetts. But, yeah, I'd like to see WrestleMania come to Boston, so I was like, why not? So WrestleMania Boston will feature Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. And yeah, that's the pay-per-view schedule, ladies and gentlemen, for right now. Again, Elimination Chamber could change and be No Way Out. WarGames will happen at Survivor Series. But for the most part, what you're looking at are the pay-per-views that will happen in this series, along with, like I said earlier, various super shows throughout the weeks and years for Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. So you can be on the lookout for that. That's the pay-per-view schedule. Finally, I know this video is getting kind of long, but this section of the video, I just want to explain what you can expect from my universe mode as an overview, as a preview for 2K22 for my universe. So let's get into it. For my universe, you can expect Attitude Era and Ruthless Aggression Era booking, that style of booking. I want to tell legit storylines, both long-term and short-term booking, and mid-term booking as well, but you're not going to be seeing like how WWE TV does, where they have two guys fight every single week, then they fight again at the pay-per-view. No. That's not how booking is going to work in my universe. It's going to be different. It's going to be like the Attitude Era, where a lot of people have storylines. Some storylines involve the main World Heavyweight Championship, the big gold belts. Some will feature jobbers or mid-cards or the comedy characters that you usually see. They're not going to get a title shot or a world title, but I will have storylines for them too. I mean, I grew up on the Ruthless Aggression Era, so yeah, that's how the booking is going to go. And earlier, like I said with AEW, I like how MJF and CM Punk, they waited almost 2 months to have an actual match. In between those 2 months, they had an actual story. Every week, Punk would try to get his hands on MJF, but MJF would keep running away. Storylines like that, folks. It's storylines that make me really like professional wrestling and make me want to watch it sometimes. And that's rare nowadays because I don't really watch live. But MJF and Punk, they made me like their segments on AEW. It's just the truth, ladies and gentlemen. But then also, along with what I just talked about, the match length won't be longer than 15 minutes pretty much. I mean, big main events and title matches will go 15 minutes when it's necessary, like Roman Reigns versus The Rock at Backlash. That had to go 15 minutes because, it's just that big of a dream match. It's just a huge match, so that's why At Backlash, it went like 12 to 15 minutes. I can't exactly remember. But on Raw, SmackDown, and NXT even, matches will be anywhere from 6 to 12 minutes on average from now on. And you'll also see a lot, again, of storytelling. You'll see talking segments. With the new backstage area, we'll see new backstage segments. Because already on my channel, I use a lot of backstage segments. But with that new backstage area, looking to do some things, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot wait for a new backstage area. And finally, yeah, I know it's pretty obvious. Raw, SmackDown, and NXT are the three main brands that I will be using. I know it's pretty obvious, but just to carve it in stone and just to let you guys be aware what shows I'm making. So, yeah, that's pretty much going to do it, guys. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching this video. It's been your guy, Nick. Please like, comment, subscribe. If you can, answer some of those, if not all those questions that I asked. If you don't want to, it's fine. I'll just do whatever. But it's to make sure the viewing experience is amazing for the viewer. And I want the viewer to, when the video ends, when the UniverseMode episode ends, I want that viewer to be like, damn, that episode was great. I want to come back and see what happens next week on the next episode. So, yeah, that's just a deep dive, a preview of what's to come for the UniverseMode series here on my channel, NickRuiz23 Wrestling. So let me know what you think. And also the pay-per-view schedule, I did that for a reason. It's to let you know what's happening so that you're not questioning when's the next pay-per-view or what's the next pay-per-view, full schedule, and then of course what you can expect. But it's been your boy Nick. I'm out for now. Like, comment, subscribe if you're new. I'll see you when 2K22 comes out. Peace.